Probably Joel Selwood.
Joel Selwood, bring the brothers back.
Patrick Dangerfield, he you can never have enough class on your side.
Patrick Dangerfield, great player on, very good bloke off.
That five.
I really like Rory Sloan from Adelaide.
Bernie Vince.
Nick Riewoldt.
Probably Christopher Yarran. Get the brother back over here.
Jager O'Meara.
Stephen Keelio.
Stephen Motlop from Geelong.
I think Jeremy Cameron's going pretty good.
Wouldn't mind getting Joshy Kennedy back.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Oh, certainly Gary Ablett Jr.
Gary Ablett Jr.
I'd draft Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett. Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett.
Gary Ablett. Gary Ablett.
The Gaz man, little Gary Ablett for sure.
Probably Buddy Franklin.
Oh, I'd say Buddy Franklin.
Lance Franklin.
Well, you'd love to have Buddy Franklin. Never kick 13 goals on you again if he's on your team, so that'd be nice.
I'd love to take Jack Martin, a young guy who's originally from the same town as me. He's going to be a champion player and I'd love to have him on my side.
Nick Nutnui at the moment.
Nick Nutnui.
Cyril Rioli.
James Frawley.
Scott Pendlebury.
Travis Cloak.
Dane Beams.
Ben Hudson.
Luke McFarlane, I think is the best defender running around in the competition at the moment.
I always struggle with Lee Montagna. Quick, very, very smart and quite cheeky.
Glass. McKenzie.
Harry Taylor. Gets me every time.
Buddy Franklin probably stands out just because he's so unpredictable.
I played him Daniel Cross in my first year and he ran me ragged.
Brad Ottens was my hardest opponent.
Aaron Sandlands is always really challenging.
My answer to this question is always Simon Black. In my second year as a 19-year-old, first final up there, he gave me an absolute bath.
Ryan Crowley.
Travis Bug.
Adam Woods.
I played on Lee and Jarrah down on the back line in the first year or two that I played, and he was hard to handle.
Travis Cloak.
Travis Cloak.
I know Gary Ablett was pretty hard to play on. I tried to tackle him a couple of times. I pride myself on my tackles, and he's pretty strong on the hips, and just shrugged me off a couple of times. So, yeah, he's pretty hard.
Joe Watson. He's so big and strong through his hips.
I played on Juddy a few years ago and certainly got touched up there.
Andrew McLeod.
Crowley's probably the hardest, yeah.
Luke Hodge or Patrick Dangerfield.
Campbell Brown, 2010, cleaned me up and then I think I reacted and got suspended, so he certainly won that battle.
Probably my first year, I was a skinny little kid. I think I weighed about 70 kilos. Brendan Lade, so he ran straight through me. I remember at Amy Stadium, and it's something I won't forget.
Stephen Baker, who punched me a couple of times.
Barry Hall, who just hitting me non-stop all day.
Probably Buddy, when he extends those arms. He's got some sort of force behind him, and he's a big boy.
Aaron Sandlands, like running into a brick wall.
I bumped into Aaron Sandilands one day, and that was about 3 years ago, and I'm still feeling sore.
Matthew Whelan got me a beauty on the first game of 2007 when I wasn't expecting it, and put me out of action for a couple of weeks.
I ran into Byron Pickett one day and that hurt for a long time.
Byron Pickett cleaned me up a ripper off the square.
Campbell Brown, when he used to play for Hawthorn. He, first game against him, he said, if you put your head over the ball head, I'm going to kill you.
Campbell Brown got me a good one when we played Gold Coast.
Oh, my brother gave me a good hit a couple of years ago, so probably him.
Yeah, round one last year I got knocked out. It was more my fault just running and not really looking where I went, but yeah, it was Vickery on the other end and I think he hit his elbow, so it was more my fault, so I won't give him any plus of that.
Got cleaned up on my teammate Daniel Bradshaw one day, and I'll never forget that. I thought he nearly killed me.
Matthew Lloyd.
Glenn Archer, the first game.
Josh Hunt when we played him in my first year.
Paddy Ryder punched me in a game once, and still don't know how he did it. I look back at the footage, I can't see it, but that was one of the best punches I ever got.
David Hale.
Probably not an opponent, probably my good mate Justin Kazicki. I went to give him high five a few times and he's hit me straight in the face, so that's probably the biggest one I've copped.
Aaron Hamill for St Kilda. I remember running into him one day and he was as hard as a brick.
Easily Brendan Favola.
In my first game, I got blindsided by Luke Hodge. I don't think it was actually that big a hit, but it felt like I got hit in the next year. I'll probably go Luke Hodge again. I reckon after the first hit that I got off him, he gave me a little pat on the back and said, "Keep going, young fella," so it's pretty nice to hear.
Surprisingly, Brendan Favola.
Trent Cotchin and me go way back, so he loves to have a few little drives here and there.
It's usually the older guys who know they're already pretty good. So Drew Petrie, I reckon he's had
some nice encounters with me.
Brian Crowley's trying to be friendly with me.
Jimmy Bartell's pretty friendly on the footy field. Yeah, nice fella.
Michael Hurley and I have a pretty good chat when we play on each other. Yeah, we could sit there and have conversations about everything.
Brock McLean chasing him, probably down.
Bob Murphy. I really get along well with Joe Roughhead. We've played on each other a lot of times over the last few years, and yeah, someone I have a lot of respect for, and someone that I get along with quite well.
Buddy Franklin, yeah, it's always really competitive, but really has a good chat after the game.
Travis Blake.
Jake Carlisle.
Probably Ryan Crowley. He's one of the tightest, but he never shuts up during a game.
I don't know how many people would agree with this, but probably Sam Mitchell. I had a nice little chat with him one day, and yeah, I thought he was a nice guy to play on.
Nick Del Sano, he's a very laid back and friendly guy on and off the field.
Still Sidewatter's always up for a good chat. Goodsy, the Australian of the Year.
Jared Roughhead plays the game in a good spirit, and you know he'll bury you, but he also he's very respectful.
Joe Watson will be up there, I reckon.
Cam Mooney was pretty friendly actually.
Rory Sloane's a great bloke.
Stevie Milne, played on him last year, and it was the funniest 4 quarters I've ever been involved in.